Hi, I'm Elise Morales.
And I'm Lily Tamarez.
And this is
Go Touch Grass,
the podcast where we log in
so you can log off.
Millie and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer drama so that you can go do literally anything else.
If you like what you hear today and want to hear more, we got to Go Touch Grass Patreon with tons more content weekly, access to our Discord community and our spin-off series, Search History, where we go back and break down a viral discourse from the past. Our Patreon this week is the bean soup theory.
Yep.
It's a way that people talk about internet commenting that's very prominent on TikTok. Although Elise and I kind of unpack it and we're like, is this a Gen Z thing? Is this a boomer thing? What's going on?
Yeah, so if you have heard of bean soup theory and you want to know its origins, go listen to that. If you've never heard of bean soup theory and you want to know what the hell we're talking about, that is up on Patreon right now. And speaking of the Patreon, we are doing, for the holiday season, our first ever Patreon membership promotion as a way to send off the mostly shitty year of 2025. So yes. Right now, you can use code BYE25, that's BYE 25, for 25% off your first month or first year of membership to the Go Touch Grass Patreon. That is huge. This sale is only lasting through 2025. So once the clock strikes midnight on December 31st and you kiss whoever you're going to kiss and toast whatever you're going to toast, there's no more sale. So again, that code is BYE 25 on Patreon for 25% off your first month of exclusive bonus content, which, you know, it could be a good gift for the grass hole in your life. Maybe someone needs to become more well-versed in these things so that they can log off. Yeah. You could give it as a gift to them or to yourself.
And also, just saying, right? Go Touch Grass. Two things about us. We are an anti-murder podcast. We do not endorse murder. Never. Another thing about us, we don't care who you kiss on midnight on the 31st. No. As long as they subscribe to our Patreon. So use code BYE25 for 25% off your first month or year. Mm-hmm. Speaking of gifts, don't forget to gift us with a 5-star rating and review. We love your reviews. We need more of them. But really, the best review you can do is to tell your friends, tag us in a little story, or repost it. You know we're online. And as of this recording, we are 39 subscribers away from hitting our goal of 500 for monetizing our YouTube, guys. We need money. So we have full video episodes going up every weekend. So if you're not already subscribed there, why not head on over and check us out? Even if you don't like our faces, even if you don't want to see my great hair or our great outfits, which are always on point. Just subscribe and let it ride. That's what we say.
Subscribe and let it ride. That's
Press
a good
play,
motto.
Leave your pets. Don't leave your pets alone. Play our fucking shit.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's literally what I do when I leave the house is I put our podcast on YouTube and let it ride. Yes. So my cat is in Grass Nation in a major way. She's well-versed. Online? My cat is very online at this point. All right. Speaking of someone who is online with us virtually right now, we are so excited for today's amazing guest. She is a columnist, an editor, and the New York Times best-selling author of this month's Go Touch Grass book club pick, This American Ex-Wife. Please welcome into your ears, Lyz Lenz.
Woo! Thank you so much for having me, and great pick for December. Everybody should go into the new year with a divorce. Even if you're not married, you should be divorced in the new year.
Let me just endorse that immediately.
To say, right, you can't go into 2026 with a 2025 car model. You gotta go in with fresh merch.
No.
So Lyz, look, we loved your book so much, but for the listeners, can you give us a little background on your story and what made you want to write something as personable? You know, it's kind of like memoir and historical book. So just give us the broad strokes of the pen stroke.
Yeah.
At least wrote that. I'm kidding.
I got no notes. Everything is perfect.
Yeah.
Back in 2016, big year for America, big year for Lyz Lenz.
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten married in 2005 at 22. And I thought that, I mean, for the women in my family, that was like being a feminist, because I waited until college, you know, to get, or till I graduated from college. Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up in the middle of America. I grew up in Texas, very religious background. And even though I wasn't that religious when I got married, it was still just like, this is what you do to have a good life, right? You graduate from college, you get a job, you get married, you get a house. And this is what I thought like you needed to, and I'm a very type A girly, you know, so I want to check all the boxes. And I had checked all these boxes, and, you know, then I had 2 kids, a girl and a boy, you know.
Oh, wow.
You really did it.
What about a white picket fence?
No white picket fences. They're very expensive to put up, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Fencing is expensive. But even in Iowa. But you know, I wasn't happy. And I you know, I had put my dreams on hold for so long to follow my now ex-husband, spoiler, to his dream job, to have these children. And I was coming out, my youngest was finally old enough to go to daycare. And I was like, yes, now it's my time. Now it's my time. And I sold a book. It was like my dream to become an author. And I was like, here, let's go. But there was none of that support. You know, I had to, every time I had to leave for a research trip, I am a journalist, so I do a lot of research with my work. And it was like, I was arranging the childcare. I was, you know, making sure his mom could maybe come help. I was making sure we had food in the freezer. And I was just like, this was not what I thought it was going to be. This was not what I was promised 50-50 was going to be. And then 2016 happened. And then I learned that my now ex-husband voted for Donald Trump. And then the wheels just came off. Yeah, good one, right?
Nice.
And cool. You can't trust a white guy. I mean,
you never know what they're doing when they get in that voting booth. You never know.
But I'm just like, it's not even white guys anymore.
No,
it's everybody.
I know.
All the guys.
Our Latino hermanos are doing this.
You know, you gotta watch out with some black guys. I'm just saying.
True.
Like,
and I'm a white woman, so listen. You know,
and 53% of you. I mean, come on.
I'm not throwing a stone in this glass house. But all that happened, and I was just like, I felt like I was at the brink, and I remember having this conversation with my best friend Anna, where I was like, I am so unhappy, and I'm so unhappy, and she was like, your life is not a game of chicken. You don't have to wait for him to blink first. She's like, I've been your friend for so long. I'll keep being your friend no matter what, but you can leave. And that was the first time anybody had ever said to me, it's okay to go. And I'll say it took 9 months later. I came home one day from a research trip. There was like trash all over the floor. The house hadn't been picked up. I came home at midnight. I was going to have to be up at 4:30 a.m. with a baby and start it all over again. And something broke, and I broke, and I was just like this, I cannot do this anymore. But I am a writer. So, you know, it would be not wrong to assume that I was like, now I'll write a memoir about it. But yeah. I didn't think, I was deeply ashamed, you know, and I didn't, you know, I wasn't like getting divorced because I was like, no, I'm empowered. I just got divorced and I kept it real quiet. And I was deeply ashamed of this huge failure. We'd been married 12 years. And then 2020 happened. And then I saw how it wasn't just me that was dealing with this inequality. I wasn't just me who was breaking. It wasn't just, you know, women from a religious background. It was all women. You know, even the women who had married the quote unquote good liberal men, you know, even those guys were still, you know, locking themselves up in their little Zoom closets while their wives did the cooking and the, you know, and the Zoom schooling and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I think there's a big problem in America, you know, and then all the advice was just like, well, marriage is hard, stick it out. And that made me want to scream, because hard for who?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and we teach women, just tough it out. It'll be fine. You'll get to the end. It'll be happy. And I was like, what if I died? You know, in the pandemic, we were all like, what if we died? And I died doing what? I died doing what? You know, like sacrificing myself on the crucifix of heterosexual marriage. Get real. And I didn't want that. And so I wrote this book, and it clearly has resonated with a lot of people. I'll say married and unmarried. And I've been very surprised at who has reached out to me. Because I think it's a call to embrace your happiness, that sometimes walking out the door is the best thing you can do for yourself. And I hate all that advice. It's like, well, just try harder, girls, you know?
Yep. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, like, I said this to you when we logged in, but Millie recommended your book to me. I truly just like devoured it over Thanksgiving, read the entire thing on the beach. Really great. And there's so much that resonated with me, even though like the circumstances of my marriage were different. You know, I was 31 when I got married. I come from not a religious background, just like East Coast progressive people or my parents. But even still, like, once my divorce was a fact and something that I knew that I was doing, I found myself running headfirst into all of these like societal expectations and feelings and all of these things that I didn't even realize I was going to come up against, that you like detail so beautifully in the in the book. I recently went on a date with a guy, and I'm like very upfront about, you know, I'm going through a divorce right now, I'm casual, whatever. And I mentioned it, and the guy was like, well, you don't even like have to tell people that you got a divorce. Like, you could just keep it to yourself. And I was like,
no, but that's how guys navigate shit.
I know.
Their whole fucking life is not telling people shit.
It was such an immediate ick that I was like, oh, I'm done. And I said, I was like, well, why would I? Do you think I should have to be ashamed about that? Like, the way he said it, I was like, oh, you think that this is like a bad thing that I did, and this date is over.
Wait, was that the 27-year-old that talked to ChatGPT, or no?
No. This was the plumber.
No, not the plumber.
I recently, you know, had a minor romance with a plumber that came over to my apartment. That's great. You have to pursue that. Like, you do have to pursue that. But then we went on a date, and he said that.
Yeah, you got to do it for the plot. I did go out on a date with a contractor, because one of my friends was like,
that's hot.
You're so snobby. She was like, all you do is date doctors and lawyers. She's like, date against your type. And I was like, okay. And I got hit on in the bar by this like handsome, very like strong contractor. And it was not great. And then he stalked me. So a little bit, just a little.
Not stalking. See, when I see contractors online, I'm thinking about the projects that I need help with. I'm like, well, you can help me put up this.
Well, yeah.
This. You don't know how many cabinet makers but also, that's the thing is like, I mean, I always have a fantasy of like, and I know you have your question, Lyz, but I always have a fantasy of like a sensitive blue collar man who like, you know, whatever. But as someone who's dated a plumber, like, there's a lot of work that needs, you know, like, you got to be like, hey, so like, don't say stuff like that.
I was just like, okay. I mean, obviously I was intrigued by someone whose job cannot be taken by AI. Like, obviously I'm going to go on the date, but then I was like, one of the things in your book that resonated with me was like talking about this like split of labor. And I think one of the issues in my marriage was that the emotional labor split was completely out of balance. Like, I would say our chores were one thing, and like that wasn't as much as an issue, but who was expected to like shoulder the entire emotional responsibility of our relationship? It was all me. And I felt very like our relationship was good if I was good and I was on top of everything and I had my shit together and I wasn't sick and I wasn't irritable and I wasn't stressed out. But the moment that I wasn't able to like hold all of that up myself, everything went to shit because there was no, like, he couldn't pick up the slack, I guess, or like, yeah, there, it was not equal in the emotional labor realm. Okay, so my question for you, this podcast, we talk about internet discourse and all of these things, and I'm interested to hear, because so much of your book is about like the cultural conversations around marriage and divorce, and we're in this really interesting time where on the one hand we have like, you know, the British Vogue article, is having a boyfriend embarrassing now, and all these reports about young women choosing to stay single and not dating. But then we also, at the same time, see this rise in trad wife content, and where marriage is being kind of fetishized to young women. So I would love to get your take on where we're at culturally with marriage, heterosexual marriage very specifically, but like this kind of interesting time that we're in with both poles.
Yeah, it is a really fascinating time, and it seems like it's gotten worse since my book came out, too, in that there, you know, there's always like some guy on Twitter being like, oh, marriages didn't last, you know, don't last as long as they used to, and people just keep quitting. And it's like, you know, there's always some guy who's like, be like your grandparents. And then you look in the comments and women are like, your grandma legally couldn't get divorced, you know?
Yeah.
Your grandma legally couldn't own a credit card. And so I think we're having these two this cultural moment because women have never had more freedom than we have right now. We can get credit cards. You know, my mom was born, when my mom was born, she could not get a credit card, right? I go do book events and I see women who are in their 60s who are like, we couldn't get mortgages. And so we have a lot of freedom, you know, we can get jobs, but we're also in a cultural moment where our reproductive rights are being reversed. Women are being forced out of the workforce, Black women especially, right? And then culturally, we see this battle online where it's like, yeah, statistically, Gen Z women aren't marrying as much, and good for them, you know, and also statistically, and this is less talked about, is that like boomers are getting divorced. Gray divorce is a huge area of divorce law. So people, like, heterosexual marriage is breaking down, but if you were going to read the New York Times about it, you know, you would see, or the Atlantic, and they would just be like, it's fine, get married, solve the male loneliness crisis, which by the way doesn't exist, because women are lonely at the same rates as men, and it's only a crisis when it happens to men. Meanwhile, women are literally dying of sepsis in the parking lots. But, you know, I digress.
I mean, I think there's something. These guys are shooting up malls and like something is happening. But I don't know if it's because they're not getting pussy. But anyway.
And it's not like they're entitled to it, right? Like earn this. But I do think we are in this like cultural clash moment, and a lot of the cultural propaganda still glorifies this idea of heterosexual marriage as the salvation, as a way to save, as a way to like solve the childcare crisis, as a way to like protect women from the evil workforce, or it's so much easier to work for your husband than to work for a mean boss. And it's like, I don't know, at least with the boss, I get days off, you know, and I don't have to sleep with him. And I do think, so there is this huge cultural clash happening right now. It's also interesting to point out that every time Bret Stephens in the New York Times or writes about how, like how great marriage is and how everybody should do it, you know, he ignores the fact that like in 2024, 50,000 women were killed by intimate partner violence, and most of those are their heterosexual partners. And it's just like, it's like we are in this moment where women are realizing that the home is far more dangerous for us to be in than a dark, unlit street. And yet, you know, and yet the propaganda continues to tell us to just ballerina farm it up and we'll be all right. And that's not right. You know, and that's not true.
And I think also too, with these, when we're talking about culture, culture shifting. I mean, one, I read your book as an unmarried person. Like, I engaged with it because what I liked about it was it was both your personal memoir, but also like a lot of history and statistics about how we view divorce in this country, which I thought was fascinating. And also, like, as a single person, you know, I'm 36 and single, and like have been mostly single for most of my life, and it's just been interesting to witness the change and the stigma around being single and all this stuff change rapidly. You know, like, I think for a lot of now it's seen as a cool thing to not be in a committed thing, but before it was like constantly people wouldn't understand why, one, I didn't want to hang out with their partners, or I'm not like crazily searching. But going back to the thing, I think that what people are looking for in a marriage now has completely shifted, right? Whereas before it was like this way that you can like secure economic stability for you and your children and made sure you had like a roof over your head. Now you don't kind of need things anymore. Like, mama has a credit card and she's got her own credit card debt, baby. Yeah. Now if someone wants to pay it, I won't stop you. But anyway, but now the needs are, again, not even, you know, sometimes it is the domestic labor too, which is a whole other thing. And something that it really reminded me, I mean, not to go too much on a tangent, but like that is also something that we see a lot with like first generation, second generation immigrants, you know, and a critique that you see a lot is like, well, you're traditional when you want to be, but you know, like you want the traditional gender roles at home, but financially we're not doing the traditional gender roles, honey. So there's that. But another thing is, yes, like this need for your husband, your partner to be more this emotionally present person, to be this thing where it's like society, we haven't figured out how to teach boys and men to do this shit for themselves. Like, so it's kind of like on one end, not to say the male loneliness crisis or whatever, like, I don't want to say that, but I'm like, there is something to culture has shifted. What people are looking for in marriage has shifted, but a whole group of people don't even know how to do this shit for themselves. They don't know how to like talk their emotions, do this, do that. And like, now it's kind of,
I think you're pointing out something really important is that, right? Like for so many centuries, even like for a man to be a good man, all he had to do was make money. And and that was it. And that was like, hey, look at me, I make money. And I mean, women, I'm not gonna like, listen, there's still a pay gap, but women are more financially independent than we have been ever. And so now what we're looking for in a relationship, exactly like you said, Millie, is like a friend, is a companion, is like a buddy. And they can't do that. You know, it's like what I have to ask this person, I have to be interested in this person's life. Like I have to care about them, you know, and it's just like, and you gotta wonder too, it's like you know, I do date sometimes, you know, and the men will be like,
we gotta get fucked.
Listen,
you gotta get fucked.
Girls got needs. And but it's just like, do you even like women? You know, because when you like tell them what you're into and they're all like, but then they expect you to like really be interested in their thoughts on the Quentin Tarantino movies or the fucking Dallas Cowboys or whatever. And then you're like, I know how to pretend to be interested in your interest, but like you can't even care one bit about my whole thesis about Taylor Swift's new album. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you don't know how to ask a question. And these men are like melting down because women are saying, fine then, I'm not going to teach you. And this is, I think, another shift too, is that like all, like, think about like exactly what you were saying, Elise, like that emotional labor. Yeah, maybe a guy knows how to take out the trash and like wash the dishes. Great. But he might not know how to like buy a self-help book, like do the work, make the therapy appointment, make the babysitter so you can go to the therapy appointment, book the dinner so that you can have the date night so that you guys can reconnect, like remember what your favorite food is and have it ordered for you when you're, you know, feeling sick. And like those like emotional labor things, they like, it's just like they cannot do. And then when women are like, hey, I actually have choices here. And if you can't do this, I'm not going to train you like a golden retriever. The number of boomer women who come up to me at my book events and are like, well, my husband was really bad for the first 10 years, but then I trained him and now he's great. And it's like, I don't want to waste 10 goddamn years of my life training a man like a show horse.
No. Yeah, well, I'm like, yeah, that's raising a kid, and at least my son will be gay and cool and obsessed with me. Like, you're gonna, if you raise that guy for 10 years, then I'm like, that the other kind of trap is like, they fucking resent you too. So it's like,
yeah, they resent
you for teaching that this and that. So it's like, you can't win.
Okay, so this discussion is leading us perfectly into the 2 discourses that I have for the top of the show. We're talking financial stability, planning, marital expectations. We're going to get into all of it. So first, I have a kind of mini discourse for you. So Lyz, the discourse is our segment on the show where we talk about something that everybody is chattering about online. So I wanted to start out by putting a question to you. This is a question that has been coming up on TikTok and Twitter a lot.
What's your relationship? Can I ask what your relationship is with TikTok and Twitter, Lyz?
I was OG on Twitter because I am a woman of a certain age.
Yep.
And so I was like on Twitter when it became a thing. And I just, much to my children's horror, I am now on the TikTok. And I gotta say, I have a very good, very popular video about divorcing. It's pretty
Hell
good.
Yeah.
But so I'm becoming more hip, but I do love my TikToks, and I am trying to train my algorithm to stop giving me like weight loss, because I'm like,
it's impossible. It's impossible.
Just let that go, because I'm fully on, feminist talk / borderline Miss Andrew talk. And I'm still getting Ozempic, some shit.
Yeah. Oh, and I tell it, please don't advertise Ozempic to me. Please stop. And it still gets in there.
Whatever. I get like shitty. I'll get all the appliances I get on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the TikTok shop for sure. Okay. But speaking of buying power, this is a question that has been, like I said, brewing on TikTok and Twitter. The question is, would you rather take a $120,000 a year remote job or do the same job for $240,000 a year, but it requires you to be in person 4 days a week? This question, it's hard to say 100% where it started, but it seems like it began with a tweet from @LRN Rose, who said, was listening to a podcast and I'm not sure if y'all are serious anymore. Girl asked if she should take $120K remote or $240K over an in-office role. And this got 3.6 million views. Off the bat, what do you guys think?
So that depends on childcare, doesn't it? Like, to me, it's like, okay, you don't have kids. I'd take the money, like go to the office, wear your flirty little office outfits. But like, if you are, let's say, like the majority of women responsible for so much of the labor, like how much is childcare going to cost? And literally all that kind of stuff. Like if you were planning on having a baby, so many people had secret babies in 2020 just because they could. And just because they could like kind of hide it from their coworkers and then not get the mom, like when women have children, they basically get pay cuts at work. Like when men have children, they get pay bumps at work. And so like, I guess it just, like to me, yes, I could see where if you were like a single person or just partnered without kids and you would be like, this seems like a no-brainer. But when you are doing all that mental math, like, I think it just depends on like what it would take for you to make your life work. And I think that that's the reality of the America that we're in. And it is so freaking hard to get childcare. It is so freaking hard to get paid maternity leave. It's so freaking hard to like have a life and then, not get fired from your job because, oh my God, your kid got hand, foot, and mouth disease again. And then you couldn't work, you know, and like you couldn't take the time off to, like I've been there. But after I went on maternity leave the first time, I was working for this website and they literally tried to replace me while I was on maternity leave, which is illegal. And, you know, but like because my boss at the time was like, well, she won't be consistent with her work. And I was working fully remote. And he literally said that to my face. And like, you're just, but this is the reality that so many women face. I'd also have to ask about the benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we're supposed to assume that everything is the same in terms of like the role of the job and like the benefits. The difference is just the salary and the in-office time.
You know, again, I am single. I don't have kids, and it wouldn't be a no-brainer for me, but I would definitely look up what the commute is. Like, there are other factors besides money, right? What the commute is, what the workload is, what the I mean, people hate like work-life balance. Like, okay, but $124K a year, when you start factoring, then you have to go travel an hour every day each way, and then you're buying lunch. I mean, it's still, it's double the salary, so this is tough, but like, I wouldn't automatically go to something that pays more just because it pays more. Like, there's many considerations that you have to fucking have.
See, this is very interesting because the way the discourse has been playing out online is that people are like, there's a generational divide. Gen Z all says they wouldn't go into the office. Millennials and older are all like, it's a no-brainer for the $240K. And I'm like, you know, it's not a no-brainer. It actually is kind of a tough decision because double the salary, like, is not, that could be hugely impactful in my life in a variety of ways. But I am a person who, I went fully remote like before the pandemic even happened. I decided to leave the office job that I was in and go the freelance route and be working from home because that just works better for me as a person. I found myself in every iteration of an in-office job I ever had. It's just very, I struggle with it. It's not my temperament personally.
No,
I personally like to be able to just like manage my time on my own. And as long as I'm getting stuff done, like it doesn't, I know people who say like being in office helps them. It helps them feel better. Their mental health is improved by being in the office. It helps them work, etc. I do not have that experience. But is that worth $100,000? It's hard to say.
Also, as an aging millennial, like I'm an 82 baby, I am like up there at the top, you know, and like I don't think it's generational. Like me and all my friends, we're tired. We are tired, and we don't like. And I think for the conversations I'm having with my friends, the question is, how much is enough? Like, what is enough? Like, what is enough to have a good life and then also be able to go to sleep? What is enough to have a good life and then take a weekend off, you know, and not have to be working all the time? Because so many of us, like millennial, you know, women pre 2016, Hillary Clinton, we were like, we're going to have it all. We're going to work. And then and then it's like we just kept slamming our heads on the glass ceiling, and now we're a little concussed and tired, and we're just like, you know what? Like maybe if the $125K it was enough to have a good life, then what else do you need? You know, I don't buy that it's a generational thing. And also I love that if it is, like, I love that Gen Z is like, you couldn't pay me to give up my soul, and God bless Gen Z. Please go forth with that energy, because we need fewer billionaires in America and more people who are like, maybe enough is enough, and maybe we should take a freaking nap.
I saw this tweet. There's very few times that a tweet like really, well, there's tweets recently that are like still moving culture and stuff, but I saw this a few days ago, and this really shook me into like understanding understanding, again, the affordability crisis and also how younger people deal with money. So engage me for a little bit before we move on to our next topic. But so somebody posted, this is a response to a tweet of like, can someone explain to me where kids are getting the money to live a DoorDash lifestyle? I can't figure it out. And then basically it's saying like, I own a casual restaurant with 4 locations and they have a $16 poke bowl, but with tip, it grows like to $30. How does a high schooler have enough money to get this shit every day? Like, isn't that 4 people with 6 figures? So at _the profit responds and says the DoorDash lifestyle is an artifact of 3 massive structural shifts older generations don't see because they didn't grow inside of them. Let's break the illusion. 1, the marginal cost of money changed for Gen Z. For older adults, spending $30 feels like spending $30. For kids today, the psychological cost is closer to, quote, 3 microtransactions worth of friction. Because their financial environment is built on 1, bullet point, instant digital payments, another one, low commitment gig incomes, another one, parents transferring money fluidly, side hustles paid in irregular small bursts, stimulus era normalization of cash flow volatility. So teenagers today often have $30 now, $0 tomorrow, $50 on Friday, $15 on crypto, $70 in Cash App from someone they did homework for, $20 from grandma, and a $60 from a weekend shift. There is no budget, there's flow. And in a flow economy, a $30 DoorDash order is not a luxury. It's just another digital outflow in a stream of constant micro inflows. Another point is consumption is now currency. Older generations spent money to solve problems. Gen Z spends money to signal identity, reduce friction, and avoid emotional drag. DoorDash is not about food. It's about eliminating effort, eliminating planning, eliminating discomfort, eliminating logistics, eliminating decision fatigue. This generation pays premium to remove negative psychic load. Food delivery is an anxiety management subscription. They learned this from Amazon Prime, Uber, TikTok, dopamine tuning, frictionless apps, the collapse of effort-based value signals. Convenience is now the default baseline. The middle class collapse, but the lifestyle cost decoupled from income. Kids aren't behaving like they're poor. They're behaving like people living in post-middle class economy where ownership is dead, savings are pointless, buying a home is impossible, college debt is a life sentence, inflation destroys the dollar, wages do not map to adult milestones, upward mobility is gone. This goes on, but I'm just
this is the longest tweet. It's a good tweet. This is the longest tweet I've ever heard in my life.
Go back to capping it. 140 characters or less.
Remember the days of 140 characters?
They were verified, but I feel like it brings this thing of like,
yeah,
it's a generational divide if you think of money that way.
Well,
yeah. $140,000 a year is enough to buy a house. You can buy one house every year. Duh, it's a no-brainer. $140,000, bitch, you can't even get a 1-bedroom apartment in a major city.
And that's the thing that I thought was the most salient part of that tweet reply was just like, well, people aren't saving for houses because they literally cannot, a lot of those words I think were absolutely made up. However, I do think there are some like real important things about like inconsistency with cash flow and having like your income not like increase even as inflation increases. And so you're sitting there and you're like, I'm never gonna afford a house. Like I can't afford to have children. Like I can't afford, or like I can't, my life, my vision for my future looks so different than like what my grandparents and what my parents wanted. And like, I think that that's totally fine. So yeah, so it's like, okay, it's like $30. I also feel like too, it's just like such a generational gripe to be like, they're kids these days. Cause like, listen, like I'm old enough to remember how I was told that millennials were giant sluts with our hookup culture and that we were all going to just be like these huge problematic whores. And I am. But, but now it's like the panic is like Gen Z is not slutty enough. And it's like, pick a lane. Pick a lane.
Truly. And then it's like, they're spending their money on this. They're not spending any money. And they don't. And it's like,
Millennials, we were spending our money on avocado toast, if you recall. Right. So, it's like, whatever, just shut up and order your little bowls and be happy and leave people the hell alone. And also, if you're complaining about Gen Z, then you are old and you should just, I don't know, like crawl into a little hole and...
I do always try to remind myself, like when we're doing Gen Z discourse, which we often have to do on here, is I want to try to work hard to steer clear of the like weird tone that we as millennials always had to deal with, and like not trying to always panic about what the generation below me is up to, while also, you know, noticing certain shifts in mentality and this and that. Great. So, okay, we solved it. The answer to the question is it depends.
Always.
When in doubt, it depends. So this next discourse that I wanted to move us on to, this is a marriage-related discourse that popped up, and I said, amazing, we have Lyz on the show. This is going to be perfect. And this is a discourse that comes from probably one of the most discourse-inducing spaces online, Am I the Asshole Reddit. This is an Am I the Asshole post. It was posted 8 days ago by user InfamousGur2034. And it is a question that it just really popped off. This post now has 5.6 thousand upvotes. It made it onto the r/popular page. It has 6,000 comments. And like in Reddit terms, this is huge.
Viral, yeah.
This is viral for Reddit. You know, we always have to think about like a TikTok with 5,000 likes, that's not viral. But a Reddit with 5,000 upvotes, 6,000 comments, that's viral, baby. So I'm going to read this question posted 8 days ago. Am I the asshole for refusing to follow my wife's bathroom habits and calling her disgusting?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm looking ahead, so I'm like,
see what you say? My wife and I recently got married and moved in together. She has a bathroom habit that really irks me. She likes to leave pee in the toilet and not flush each time to, quote, conserve water. She learned it from her mom. I got tired of walking into the bathroom and it always smelling like piss. And she did it while on her period, so I got fed up and called her disgusting and told her, I don't care about saving a penny on a gallon of water. You're disgusting. You need to start flushing every time. She got quiet and went into the room, and now she's not speaking to me. I can't help but feel like I did something wrong. But looking back, I feel I was justified. Am I the asshole for calling my wife disgusting for leaving pee and period blood in the toilet to conserve water and demanding she flush every time? And then we have an edit. This was not the first time I had addressed it. I had discussions with her previously asking her to flush the toilet. The period was the straw that broke the camel's back. Initial reactions.
I just think that if you are married to somebody and you're calling them disgusting, like that's hard language to come back from. Like, this is a person, first of all, you should also probably have known this before you guys like figured it out, but like also like, I mean, yeah, gross. I would have a problem if somebody was constantly not flushing. Like I've been raising, you know, a small son, you know, I have to be like flush and wipe all the time. But like, I'm not looking at this person who I love and who I would lay down in traffic for ostensibly and saying like, you're a disgusting piece of shit. Like, to me, that's the difference.
He didn't say piece of shit. He He said,
just disgusting. I just feel like if he's like, I don't know, I don't buy it. I think he was meaner. And like, I just like, if that, I mean, yes, it is annoying behavior. Absolutely. But there are like, we were talking, this goes back to what we were talking about before with like emotional labor. There are ways to have this conversation. There are ways to solve this problem. There are ways to like come together and like, and this, if this is this problem, then this person should be like, okay, like, I don't know, reaching out with like their friends and gathering advice and talking to a therapist. How can I have this conversation in a constructive way? Like, that is like any relationship, you have friction. And so how am I going to solve this friction without calling the person who I love and have said I am like bound to for life disgusting? Like, don't call her disgusting.
Okay, Millie, gross. It seems like you disagree.
Go for it, Millie. I'll never call you disgusting.
I agree.
Millie.
I agree with like calling her disgusting. I think that, but the act is disgusting to me. It is a big pet peeve to me. You know, the period blood thing is tough because like, are we stigmatizing menstruation now? Whatever, but dog, that's fucking nasty. I feel like if my man wasn't flushing the toilet and I said that's fucking nasty or that's disgusting, like that doesn't mean, like, to me, I'm just like, I love people that have disgusting habits.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not mutually exclusive for me to say, to call your behavior disgusting or call something disgusting and call them disgusting. I think that, yes, it's hard to come back from. And obviously with the am I the asshole things, like, you know, these people are like making themselves look better, all this shit. So it's hard to say.
Well, yeah, it's hard with am I the asshole because it's like, what did you actually say and how did you say it? Yeah. I do think there's a difference between like that's disgusting and you're disgusting, but I do struggle because it is nasty to me to not be flushing the toilet.
But there's the emotional maturity that you both have to say, okay, what's in the toilet is disgusting, but you, the person I love, are a person who's worthy of my kindness and we can figure this out. Like, he's clearly confused why she's not talking to him, and like, just like, okay, like, there, like, go ask her, like, go talk to her, go say, hey, you know what, the way I approached this was not great, you know, I love you, I do find that what is in the toilet disgusting, but you, my love, are not disgusting, so how can we solve this?
I love my disgusting wife,
I love my trash wife, I love my raccoon wife, and I think women should be a little bit more disgusting, but like, but that's the emotional maturity that I think is like lacking in this post. And it's also just like, man, I don't know what else you said, but it's like, but if you're posting on Reddit instead of going into the living room to go talk to your wife, then I think like we've got a problem.
Yeah. So, okay. I will say that he was roundly voted the asshole on Reddit. Like, very, very, I really didn't find many comments in his favor at all. So here are some of the top comments from Colonel Time. It says, keep calling her disgusting and you won't have to worry about it much longer. That's for sure. Then Nomad2284 said, congratulations, you're the asshole.
No, this comment's crazy.
I grew up in a water-starved area, and I didn't have a toilet until...
I love the internet. I love that. It's like I grew up in a literal sewer where every time somebody flushed, it would hit my head. And,
I mean, truly, I didn't have a toilet until I was 18. We couldn't flush. We had to close the outhouse door to keep the flies down.
Stop it!
Habits learned in childhood are hard to break.
Side. These people are nasty.
No, I know, that's the only comment that is actually like, okay, this guy's right. Like,
this guy's just, yes, this dude is nasty. You have to vote the people who didn't grow up with a toilet until they're 18.
Also,
they didn't grow up with the toilet until they're 18, but they're on Reddit now. They're on the internet now. They got time to figure out how the fucking internet works.
But it's also just, it's so funny because this is like a whole thing in the comment section where people are like, this could be learned. Like, she might have come from a family where they had to preserve flushing the toilet. And I'm like, none of that is indicated in this post. It does say that she learned from her mom to conserve water by flushing the toilet. But I don't think that we're in a she didn't have a toilet until she was 18 scenario.
We don't know because he won't talk to his wife.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I got pissed about because off rip, I need to know, like, when the OP goes parentheses M52 and my wife female 52, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to know the age gap. I need to know
we don't have that.
If this guy is could be a woman, could be a queer relation. Like,
true. Could be
like,
two
what
ladies.
are the racial dynamics? I need to be able to judge
it's
more.
Definitely a man because
he kept saying the way he said period blood was a lot.
Well, and also, okay, so he's basically roundly criticized in the comments, and a lot of the tone is like this, which is very funny. Like, I didn't have a toilet.
I never had a toilet.
I never had a toilet.
This is ableist,
etc. Etc. That kind of thing. Which it's.
Can I tell you about my favorite time I broke the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Is
absolutely.
So it was a couple years ago before Elon Musk bought Twitter back in the good old days. And I went on a date with a grown man who was like 6 years older than me. He was a doctor. Not even in residency.
I already, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and we go on a couple dates. It's great-ish, whatever. I'm going to have sex with him. And so we go back to his apartment. He has a mattress on the floor. And no. I'm like, you are 47. You are 47. 47? And you're a doctor, and you're a single man, and you make a doctor's salary. And I walked out, and I was just like, I am not getting on, I
would have stayed because his dick is probably good. If he's 47 and sleeping on the floor, the dick's probably good.
I mean, I did sleep with him later because he did.
Well, how was it?
In a different place.
At my house, yes.
Well, how was the sex?
In a bed off the floor.
It was great.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He was Brazilian, and I just...
Oh, girl, that's all you gotta say. Okay,
and it was good, but, I went home, and I posted this on Twitter, and I said, I just walked out of a man's apartment because he was 47, and he had his mattress on the floor, and, I literally wouldn't do that. And I said to him, I was like, I like you, this is going great. I am not sleeping on that bed.
You get another...
and, get a box spring, get more pillows. He had one flat nasty pillow, and then I walked out and I posted this on Twitter, and it went viral, and people were debating it. There were women who were like, well, I'm a woman and I have my mattress on the floor. It's oh, I bet all the boys love you, congratulations. Yep. And
they're not flushing.
Yes.
And people are like, I didn't have a toilet.
That's right. Yes.
Until I was 18.
I didn't have a bed frame.
I'm 47 and I still can't afford a bed because of Joe Biden's economy or whatever.
Oh, right.
You know? And it was just it was this whole thing. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And I even doubled down on it. I went onto Facebook Marketplace. I took screenshots of free bed frames. Yep. It was listen, there's no excuse. And also the context was this man was earning a doctor's salary.
He's a doctor, number one.
America, and he's single. And it was just and then, people were like, actually, you're ableist. Because
yeah, of course. I mean, none of that is. You're talking to people who cover the internet, and you're saying it's crazy. It's it
was one of my favorite things. I was weeping with I couldn't even get mad because I was God bless the internet. It is without fail does the same shit every time. But that was people were I can't believe she's the worst person. She hates people who can't climb up into real beds, and I was
which isn't the situation that you were talking about. You didn't go home with someone who has a disability where they're I can't climb into a bed and then roast them. That is not what happened.
Actually say it's ableist to have a bed on the floor because it's hard for me to stand up from ground position.
Right.
I also will say, developmentally at 47, you need to be having nuanced opinions about how firm your mattress should be.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is a 47-year-old, okay, is a mattress ideal, whatever, but at 47, you need to have it together enough that you should be I actually like a soft mattress or whatever.
Yes.
To have it on the floor at 47, we're not okay.
By 47, you should have thoughts about pillows.
Yeah, in a apartment that he had rented fully furnished too. So he was really trying.
He said, leave the bed frame. We'll keep the couch.
No, to be as off-putting to women as possible. There were think pieces, y'all. Think pieces written about
I believe
this.
it.
Oh yeah.
And I was just you know what? enjoy. You know, I love, there was one where a woman was like, I'm a 47-year-old woman and I still sleep on the floor. Does this make me worse than a man? And I was like, yeah.
So, okay.
Yes, it does.
Speaking of, you know, just letting it ride. So I think one of the things that may have contributed to this kind of unanimous you are the asshole for infamous Gore 2034 is that he was getting into it in the comments, and that is a big no-no in the am I the asshole etiquette world. You are supposed to accept the judgment of the sub in this case. And how I know that he's definitely a man, apart from other things, is that at one point someone asks this question, are you a man? And he responds, I think in a way that actually says that you're a man more than even just saying I am a man. He said, I'm not a man. I identify as a crab. So he's definitely a cis man.
This is like, and this is that asshole behavior, because like it is objectively, Millie, I am on your side. If we were roommates and I was doing this to you and you said, Liz, this is disgusting behavior, I would have a conversation with you. Like I train my children not to do this. If I was in that situation, I'd be like, ew. But like the way he's handling it just doesn't seem correct.
Well, the fact that he's again, there's no self-reflection in like, and I think that this is again a pattern that American men are socialized into, which will tie into our grass hole. But it's just like, if the facts are in my favor, if I'm correct, then that's it. That there doesn't matter the approach. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. All these other facts don't care about your feelings, kind of stupid, like a brutish mentality of like, well, I think it's nasty and it is nasty, so it doesn't matter how I said it. When it's just like, there's so much more to the world, and like maybe in the short term, it's nasty, but in the long term, you're not gonna like somebody that it's not exciting. Like it's the part of your brain that has to process being called nasty, disgusting, ugly, all these things, and the part of your brain, especially for women, that feels safe, loved, secured, and like open enough to like express themselves sexually to a man. Completely opposite parts. Also the part of your brain that's like, I want to have sex with this man. And also the part of your brain that's like, I have to mother him and I have to make sure that he's wiping his ass, right? And all that shit. Like, those are two different parts of your brain, and the intersection, it's hard to come back from that, is just to say,
I mean, there's a world where it's a feminist act for her to be the one that's leaving the toilet all nasty. After so many years of women put the seat down, this, that, and the other, it's like it's radical of her to be leaving a mess in this way. I'm just gonna round out this discussion. So, okay, he's getting in the comments, he's fighting with people, he has a very combative tone in general. Like a couple comments that I'm looking at right now is he's like, you just can't admit that it's disgusting to leave period blood to simmer in the toilet bowl for the next person to see.
Not simmer.
Oh, so that makes it okay to leave piss and blood in an unflushed toilet? Like, he's really getting pissed. And so it is like, I do get the sense that he came to Reddit with this very clearly thinking that everyone was going to say it was nasty. And then I think he wanted to like show her that everyone agrees. I feel like you can tell when that's their aim.
Yeah. And also, if you are going to Reddit to adjudicate an argument that you're having with the person who you are supposed to love and respect, like, that is okay. I remember early on in our marriage, my father-in-law died of cancer very quickly, and it was really hard. And my mother-in-law was like, I'm gonna take you all on a cruise. Midwestern, like boomer white lady. She's like, we're all gonna just go on a cruise. The best vacation together.
For a boomer white lady, I'll tell you.
Yeah. She loves a cruise. And you know what? I love that for her. I've got no beef with her at all in any context. Except
because she's still babysitting.
she takes care of my kids in ways that is still so beautiful and radical. I love her.
Great.
But she takes us on this cruise. And while we're on this cruise, you know, she's like, everybody, you can all choose one thing to do. And I had picked, I was like, okay, well, when we get to this one spot, I want to do hang gliding. And nobody has kids. We're all in like our mid-20s. He died very young, too early. And so like the day where I'm supposed to go hang gliding, like it just doesn't work out. Like the hang gliding thing, like they don't start on time. And then my mother-in-law's like stressed about getting back to the boat on time. And it all just kind of doesn't work out for me. And I get disappointed. And I say at the end of the day, you know, we're like having dinner and my husband was like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm just a little disappointed. And I just said it like that. And he was like mad at me. And we get back to our room and he's furious at me. He's like, Baba, you're ruining the good time for everybody. I was like, I don't think I was. I was just kind of just feeling my feelings, being a little quiet, you know, not taking it out on everybody. I was just a little disappointed. It's going to be okay. I'll go to sleep. I'll be fine in the morning. And we had this argument where, you know what, maybe I had been a little too mopey, totally willing to own that behavior. But in that fight, he looked at me and he said, you don't know how to act like a family because your family doesn't act like a family.
Whoa.
You were not raised to act like oh my God, even now I want to cry. It was the meanest thing anybody had ever said to me. And you think it was so, even now, like, listen, that happened in 2007. Even now it hurts my feelings.
Yeah, I'm like, was he like, I can't believe that you want to get a divorce. What happened?
Yeah,
it came out of nowhere.
He's still surprised. We've been divorced 8 years. He's still surprised. But I remember saying to him, even 2 weeks later, like, that is such a mean thing to say. And it's hard to come back from. It is hard. Yeah. Like, Millie, what you were saying, like, it's hard to want to have sex with this person, even if he's like, I'm sorry. It's like, you just said the cruelest thing in the context of my life. Yeah, you said
my family is like, doesn't know how to be a family.
And it's just like, even if I was wrong, but that's why it hurts, right? That's why it hurts. And so I you know, it was just like, you know, even if I had been being the asshole, that what you said in that moment was so cruel, and it is the person that you love. And it's just like, why are we treating people like this? You know what I mean? Like, you want a future with this person, and then you're out there saying things that hurt them to their core. Like, you know, you're just like, and then he's like doubling down, you know, and it like, you know, even if my ex had been right, like I was being a little too mopey or whatever, does that justify the cruel language? And it most certainly does not. And you're just,
and you know what? But it's your ex. He had to learn, because I'm like, he was probably the only one on that boat not getting laid that night, you know. And it's because, how are you gonna you're in a little small ass cabin and you're gonna tell me that I don't know how to have a family? We're not fucking.
His brother and sister-in-law did get pregnant on that cruise, and we certainly did not.
Exactly, because the brother wasn't before saying
you're not a good family
person. Yeah, in a little tight 10, like 2 by 10 room, where what else is there to do because the TV don't work? You're gonna tell me I don't have a family? Yeah, you're not getting laid. Like, these guys are like,
the point about the asshole thing. It's like, yes, it is gross. Like, she is doing gross things, but like, if you're gonna look at the person you love and say cruel, mean things and then be shocked when they're hurt, like, you do not deserve a relationship, and it is not our job to fix you.
Okay, so let's go down the line and then we'll move to our final segment. Is he the asshole? I am going to say he is the asshole, but I do think that she should flush the toilet.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm going to come down. The act is nasty. I could give him grace, but him doubling down, him coming to Reddit, period, no pun intended. Well, you know, whatever, but it's tough. It's tough defending a man.
She needs to go get some therapy for that scarcity mindset that she's got going on. You know, clearly she's got to work through some stuff, but girl, you're not disgusting. You are worthy of love. Even though your period blood is simmering, it happens.
Even though your period blood is simmering.
Simmering. A boiling toilet water. Disgusting. All right. Well, that speaking of boiling toilet water and Trumpian behavior, we go on to our next and final segment, Grasshole of the Week. This is our segment of the show where we select one person who needs to log off the most, more than anyone else. And today's situation, I just feel like it don't get more Connecticut than this conversation. Lyz, or I'm going to ask Lyz because I know Elise has heard about this. Lyz, have you heard of the Solidcore drama?
No.
Okay. So
excited.
Exactly. So I just have to say, I'm going to say this definitively. I don't know if it's I'm going to say as a culture, Soul Cycle used to be in. Now, Soul Cycle, there's always going to be people, whatever, and then it was hot yoga. Reformer Pilates is in right now. It's all about Reformer Pilates. Everyone's obsessed. So to go into knowing, before you know who Grasshole is, you have to know what Solidcore is. So Solidcore is a fitness studio offering high-intensity, low-impact strength training on a unique spring-loaded machine similar to like a Pilates Reformer machine, focusing on slow, controlled movements to build muscle endurance and strength. Targeting the core, obliques, and full body. Classes are about 50 minutes long and feature small groups, allowing for personalized coaches. And yeah, like they aim to create muscle fatigue for significant results and an afterburn effect. So that's Solidcore. Okay, and they have chains around the country, especially in New York City, and they have a few in Connecticut. So what happened? TikToker Anthony Festa arrived. Okay, think back to the Sunday after Thanksgiving. The Sunday after Thanksgiving, he signed up for a 6 a.m. Solidcore class.
Okay. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, no. Couldn't it be me already? Already, point blank, period. First thing, this man is crazy. Who the fuck signed already off rip? Nuts. So he was expecting a normal workout. Found the studio completely empty. It was open, but empty, with no instructor in sight. He posted a now viral clip on November 30th asking, am I the only one at Solidcore? Before adding, I don't even think the teacher's here. So there was no coach, there was no teacher. So Festa decided to start the class himself and said, like, you snooze, you lose. I was here on time. I'm doing my class. He knows how to work all the machines. So he basically does a self-instructed Reformer Pilates class. In the video, he reveals that he's been a member for 6 years. He's had a 51-week streak. So he's been going 51 weeks in a row.
I know
and
this
he
guy.
has told... Yes.
This is like psycho workout guy. Yes.
Yes. So 1,015 classes that he's taken. He's taken over 1,050-minute classes. And somebody commented, at this point, they should offer you your own private classes. Just another thing about Solidcore, each class ranges about $40 to $50 a class, and unlimited monthly memberships are about $200 to $400. I would say it's closer to $400, maybe not $400 because Connecticut is outside of New York City, and outside is a little cheaper, but it's a lot. Thoughts on Anthony so far? He kind of made a thing. Well, halfway through the video, the instructor shows up. It's really funny because she shows up towards the end of the class and she puts the mic and teaches the class, and it's like a funny video. So far, how are you guys feeling about this guy? Solidcore in general, the teacher not showing up.
Was he what was his attitude? Was he pissed, or was he just whatever? What was his approach to this is my one follow-up question before I give a verdict.
I think he's nobody showed up, so I'm gonna do it myself. You snooze, you lose. I've done this so many times. This is crazy, but I don't give a fuck. I paid my money. I'm gonna still do it. So it was neither it wasn't at Solidcore, you fucking suck. It was just look at what happened at Solidcore. I'm still going to do my class. So that's the tone for this first video.
Okay. I definitely and I'm trying to not get ahead of myself because this is a drama that I have been following. So I'm trying to put myself in the time of learning various pieces of information. I think he's allowed to post that the teacher didn't show up and make a video and whatever. you know, as long as it's not like he's not like doxing the teacher, like coming at someone too aggressively, I think at first, yeah, you can post. I don't really understand being at a 6 a.m. Solidcore class. Like that mentality is not one that I live in.
No, 6 a.m. Sunday Solidcore class the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's just not who I am personally, but
Lyz,
I would make the video.
Okay. Are you 6 a.m. Solidcore? Are you not flushing your period blood?
It's simmering right now, Millie. It's getting nice and warm for you. Listen, I gotta say, like, I am mentally ill, as we all are, and one of the ways that I do, I understand a fitness cult is what I'm trying to say. Like, Solidcore hasn't made it to Iowa yet, but like I've done bar for a long time. Like I did Orange Theory for a really long time. The only thing that got me out of that cult was a literal pandemic where I was like, oh, maybe that was a lot of money and a little insane. And all my friends were like, yeah, think, you psychopath. And so like, I understand this mindset. I understand this guy. Like, I know this man. I know exactly what he looks like. He's like late 40s, early 50s, something like that. He's like grind set mindset guy. He's like, you know, like mid to top tier in his field. He's like biking all the time. He runs marathons. This man boils his chicken every weekend to prep it for his sad sack, you know, male like lunches. He eats the same thing every day. I dated this man before, you know, he's like up at 4 a.m., run 10 miles, get to his law job. This guy sucks in bed, but this is what he has. And like, so like,
that's why he's doing all that.
But yes, exactly. But I understand this man, and it's like, but also you show up to a class, and I also understand too that like if you don't show up to those things, they charge you anyway, because like that's how they get you to go, you know. It's like, oh, you didn't show up, so you still have to pay and whatever. So like I kind of can understand where he might have been like, well, I'm gonna do it myself, because that's this kind of guy. However, like, dude, you could just go get a sandwich. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go get a little Starbucks. Like, you were given a gift. Come back in a little bit, because like there's also like, this is a studio, they have liability issues, you know, like surely
Lyz.
If you jump in and start using the machines and you're not like signed out to like be, you know, like surely there's some sort of like legal liability. I'm a lawyer's daughter as well. So you know, and so it's like this guy had the opportunity to just chill the fuck out, and he didn't. And so like it feels kind of neutral at this point, but also I can understand why they might be pissed that he's filming himself using their equipment, because that's like a liability issue for insurance.
Lyz,
wow.
But that's my early take, and I know nothing about this, but also I'm not going to defend a man in the court of law. So
you've commented on so much, you said so much, and we just got started, baby. So I would love to hear your. So we're gonna hear. He has posted this video, which is called. The caption is the fallout from my Solidcore video. We're just gonna watch like probably the first like 2.5 minutes, because I want to see if I just want to hear your thoughts. We're gonna go in cold, because this is quite something.
Oh God. Oh, he's younger than I thought.
But the man that you described, like, I know who that man is. And
I know who that man is.
He is also at 6 a.m. Solidcore.
But this is a ripped gay guy.
This is his
different varietal.
This is his dad. I described his father. Okay.
Yes.
This is the son.
Out from my Solidcore video. So if you haven't seen my Solidcore video, I'll sum it up for you real quick. I went to a 6 a.m. class. The teacher was not there. I decided to vlog because nobody was there. I thought it would be good content. And I vlogged and posted the vlog after the class. The teacher came to the class like halfway through, and everything was fine. Once I left the class, the teacher started blowing up my TikTok, my Instagram, my phone, being like, oh, Callie, one of the other teachers at the studio, said you could keep the last 30 seconds of the video, but you need to edit out all the rest. Like, can you please delete the video? Can you please take it down? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mind you, this is Thanksgiving weekend Sunday, okay? I'm not answering anybody on Sunday. So I don't reply back to this coach. I get a phone call from my best friend who also goes to Solidcore, who joined because of me, and he's friends with this other coach, Callie. He calls me, he's like, you need to take down this video. Callie just called me freaking out. She's saying she's gonna lose her job. Jaden's gonna lose her job. Wynn's gonna get in trouble. The studio's gonna be flagged. It's gonna affect us. You're gonna lose your membership. It's gonna be a whole thing. You need to take this video down. I literally just hang up on him. I'm like, I can't even deal with this right now. It's Thanksgiving. Like, I cannot believe these people right now.
Okay, now it's Thanksgiving.
So I said to him, I said, you know what? Since when are you Solidcore's PR? Like, I didn't realize you were on Solidcore's payroll. If there's an issue, Wynn can call me and let me know. So 10 minutes later, Wynn calls me. I don't pick up either of her calls. And you know, sometimes somebody leaves you like a ghost voicemail. Wynn is like the regional like manager or whatever. Her husband's in the background in one of these voicemails being like, tell him to call you back. I'm like, oh, she wants you to take the video down too. So at this point, I call back my friend because I'm like, he's literally going back and forth with these girls, telling them what I'm saying because they can't get in touch with me. I go, are you going back and forth with the Solidcore girls? He's like, oh, they called me. I'm like, get out of here, dude. Like, what the hell? The next day, I go to class. Callie's teaching. After class, I go up to Callie because this caused a big rift in my friend. Like, I'm very...
Oh, yeah. Oh, he goes back. He goes back. He goes back and fights with them.
This is why I say I'll never defend a man in a court of law. Never.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna skip.
Okay, keep going. Sorry. I'm
gonna get the last 30 seconds.
We're not. It's nothing. Oh, and by the way, well, and that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I just have like a really bad taste in my mouth with these coaches. Like, it was so unprofessional. Oh, and by the way, there was nothing wrong with my video. It's allowed to be up. Like, there's no issues with the video. These girls were not going to get in trouble, okay? That's the big kicker. Yeah, so what really happened was someone didn't show up to their job on time. I saw an opportunity to vlog and took it, and these girls tried to cover their asses and thought in some way I would take the fall. Whether it was taking down the video, whether it was editing the video to make them look better, or interfering with my friendship and having my friend try to have me take down the video.
All right.
Wow.
Thoughts?
I saw an opportunity to vlog and I saw an opportunity.
Go home. I was kind of on your side. Also, here's a thing that I would have, like, when you sign a contract, like, that was the thing with, like, Orange Theory, you could not record in the classroom. And so, like, but clearly that's not the issue here. I was, like, all ready for it to be, like, a tort law situation. Like, you know, I'm ready. But he, what? Why is this a thing? And also, I love how he's like, I'm not answering my phone because it's Thanksgiving. You were at class at 6 a.m.
Yeah, you were at 6 a.m. Solidcore.
Like, you're not now you're taking a nap. Like, but also, like, I don't know, man. Like, he loves the drama. I think he loves the drama.
You can tell.
Loves the drama. Like,
so... We gotta keep he loves the drama. I want to show you this next video because this video he posted the day after the video that he okay. So
he still posts through it.
He's posting through it in a way that it's like, who's the grasshole here? We're gonna find out. But I'm like, so he posts the Solidcore thing. It gets blown up. He goes again. Then he posts the clearing up thing. He posts the clearing up thing that got like millions of views. That calls out the specific thing, and then the next day he posts this video.
Come to Solidcore with me during our feud. 5:30 on a Saturday. I'm back at the scene of the crime. Honestly, these girls could be torturing my brother, and I would still come here. I need that mock net. Solid. The feud was not good timing. Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Sorry about the video.
You know what? I do have to talk to you about that.
Why?
As part of my probation, I have. In 3, 2, 1. You're just at the white line. You get swear. That's what I told you. I never do that. Oh boy.
The rest is him like doing the thing.
Yeah, so this is like him just filming the actual. So it cuts off after her saying as part of my probation, and then it just shows him like doing Solidcore.
And then now I'm gonna skip to like when he leaves.
All right. Overall, Solidcore wasn't too traumatic today. Jaden's a little salty. That's understandable.
He saw an opportunity to vlog and he took it.
This is just like that Reddit post, right? Where it's like you like there are ways in which you could have not been the asshole, but you just keep insisting on your assholery. You were like, oh, was I not douchey enough the first time? Let me come back and let me assure you of who I am. Like, sir. And also like he's like I don't know. They all seem kind of douchey, but it's just like you keep coming back and you keep filming it, and like also, what is the Solidcore contract? Like, if I need to become a lawyer for Solidcore right now and just be like, listen, it's in your contract. Stop like videotaping in the classes. Like, what the hell is happening? And also, like, if I'm working out, if I'm just like another Connecticut skinny lady who just wants, ripped abs because she doesn't love her husband and, has nothing else to do with her life.
Great reason to have it ripped abs.
Yeah, listen. If you can't have anything else, be hot, and that good for you. But if I would not want this man recording my workout, like next to him, like what is
in
happening?
Meta glasses?
No.
And then also, it's Meta glasses.
Oh,
it's Meta glasses.
Meta glasses.
Hold on,
it wasn't a phone.
No,
it's
Meta
glasses. Prison. Go to prison.
All
not
right,
jail.
well, speaking of prison, here is another video where he clears things up. And guys, I have to note, he is wearing a Solidcore crew neck in this video.
I want him to go to jail.
Oh, so what happens is this goes so viral. The last video had 3 million views. Mm-hmm. This whole situation goes so viral. There's several Reddit threads of him. And we'll get into one of the theories, but one of them was like, this guy sucks to be in class with. So he's responding to those rumors.
Yeah, I just said he sucks to be in class with.
Well, here's his defense to that, Lyz.
Okay.
All of a sudden, do these people have a problem with him? And there's all these complaints after he just made a viral video, yet he's been going to Solidcore 5 times a week for 6 years, and there's never been an issue. And he's like a star Solidcore person. Like, I'm sorry. How do I steal someone's machine at Solidcore? You guys see my video. I'm like the earliest one there. I'm the first one there. There's no machines for me to steal. They're all open. Also, no one ever said anything to me about filming. Everything was fine for my 1,000th class, that video that I filmed of my 1,000th class. No one ever said anything about the Meta glasses or told me that it wasn't okay. I just think it's so funny that people in Darien are like crashing out about this. It's literally like the coaches and like them telling the members that they're friends with to like say something because they know they're not going to find support here. So they have to go to Reddit. I mean, come on, you guys. Also, like there was a comment on there that I'm like bi or something and might be recording these girls and like wanting them. No, babe, I'm not swinging for your team. I'm sorry. But that ship has sailed. What? I'm not like some creeper focused on you in class. I'm focused on myself in the mirror. I'm pretty self-absorbed when I'm at Solidcore. I'm not like focusing on who's next to me. I'm like looking at my body in the mirrors, babe.
He's not looking at you, Lyz. What do you have to say about that? He's not looking at you. He does not swing for that team. That ship has sailed, Lyz. That ship has sailed.
That's a weird way of putting it, like that ship has sailed, but God bless. I'm so happy. This is one less man I have to worry about, and that's great. However, you immediately lost your case when you wore Meta glasses. I can't, there's no person who deserves a defense who's wearing Meta glasses. And also, like, this man just, like, he's living for the drama. He loves the drama. And, what do you mean? They're not my friends. Like, they're not my friends. They're not my friends. Okay, I know. We know. Everybody everybody hates you and you suck, and that's fine. You're one of the mean gays. We get it. It's a genre. It's a genre, and that is okay. And we accept all kinds. However, I don't accept meta glasses, and
I don't accept meta glasses. I agree.
That is where I draw the line. That is where I become an intolerant liberal. I do not want meta glasses on your face, and also like he loves it. He's like, why is everybody attacking me? It's because I'm so beautiful and so good at Solidcore. I am star student. I've been going for 6 years. Dude, you are in a cult. Leave.
Well,
he does have a point, though, about the recording. If he's been recording before and nobody ever said anything, I was kind of like, well.
There are places where he has a point in general where it's like, okay, I mean, clearly there's some weird filming policy. Because personally, I've never been to a studio where you're allowed to be filming anything.
100%. Most gyms don't let you.
Yeah, they say like no phone. So that's odd to me. I do think it's odd that they were like reaching out to his friend and doing all that stuff.
Oh,
but
these
at
are
the end
crazy.
At the end of the day, the like glee with which he clearly is engaging with this drama is what is making me put him in the grass hole category, and then also the meta glasses. Glasses.
And I'll say too, real quick, like there are other solid cores he could go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because
I remember the one in Darien. There's not one more.
But he's going to Callie's class again. Come on,
he's coming back for Callie. He wants this.
I'm just saying. Okay. So part of why this goes so viral, I think for me, he does have some points.
Yeah,
he does.
So people, and also a lot of people like are enjoying seeing him. It's ultimately low stakes.
That's right.
But people are enjoying seeing him like double down. And he does use the internet in quite an interesting way. So this is what I'm going to do. He has 2 videos. The one is 10 seconds. The other one's 15 seconds. We're giving you a vibe of how he's behaving on the internet after. And then I will display a big major theory that will round this out.
Okay.
Right?
I love this.
Yes, this is, and then we'll go back into this, but I think that he's kind of using the internet. Like people are attracted to him because he is so mean and he is so brazen. But also, this is really funny. He goes me walking back into Solidcore and Equinox, and he uses this audio.
I don't give a fuck. I'm still in the motherfucking house. I'm still in the motherfucking house. I don't give a fuck. Do I look like I give a fuck? Because I don't.
So somebody said, and the first comment says, please teach a class on how to be assertive. And that has 38,000 likes. So people are liking what he's putting down. But in case you're wondering if he's still gay, he has this photo that he has this video that he posted 6 days ago. I do think it's important for us to watch this 10-second video because I think it does paint what we're dealing with here.
Guys, it's officially December, or as I refer to it as John Benet season. And this is typically the time of year when I start thinking about John Benet Ramsey a lot and just wondering, like, will we get answers this year? Like, will we ever figure out what happened to John Benet? You got.
So, that's what's going on with him. Meanwhile, on the other corner of the internet, this is kind of close to where I land with him. And basically everyone's like, this guy's MAGA. This guy's MAGA. They find his thing. He has MAGA. So I
was gonna say he's like the Donald Trump of Solidcore. He's like, well, he's like, everybody hates me and I suck, so I'm gonna keep going back for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll just 2 black women on TikTok are like, we gotta watch out for this guy. Here's this girl who says, y'all don't have discernment with the Solidcore guy, and says, use your discernment.
know what's going on with all of this Solidcore drama? Not fully. I watched the first video and then I got bored and stopped watching. But do I have a black woman's discernment? Yes, I do. With that being said, I don't trust this at all. I don't like that Solidcore guy. Because why are you so entitled to go into a studio with meta glasses underhandedly, have an attitude, and this I'm better than everything else, the rules, entitlement. Haven't we seen this before? And I'm just surprised by all of like the people that are like, oh, he's within his right. I don't know what his rights are, but I do know that I don't just go into fucking Solidcore, or I don't go into fucking Pure Barre, and I don't go into Club Pilates and just be like, I'm a grab a reformer and just start my shit. No, you wait. And even if that class is canceled, you don't just do the thing. You go through the proper channels and get your refund that way.
So that's one. And then we got this girl who says, that man is MAGA. I love the girl that left the comment.
Or T from that Anthony man in Solidcore. He's MAGA. He's MAGA. Yes, it does matter. It does matter. And not in my video, a black girl was like, see, if I did this, I didn't get the comment at first because I hadn't seen the video. Free train. That man is MAGA. He voted for Trump. But second, this black girl, she was like, see, if I did this, why do I feel like I'd be in jail? Girl, you'd be in jail. I'd be in jail. Like, that's just a fact of life. He's MAGA. Girl.
Okay, can I ask what is making people say he's MAGA? Like, did they find posts of his, or is it people just being like, we think he has a MAGA vibe?
I will say, I think somebody found some posts. I don't know where the MAGA allegations first thing. I think there are substantial MAGA allegations. And also, I do think that this approach to conflict is very Trumpian. It's very MAGA. It's why, like, some of the MAGA Real Housewives, like, they're not the best ones to watch, but, like, they are fucking crazy, and it does make for good TV, and I do feel like there is an American Trumpian thing of, like, complaining and still showing up and still expecting service. Like, it is something so at its core MAGA that even if this guy voted for Kamala Harris, I do think that
he has a MAGA way of engaging with the world.
It's an entitlement thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I paid my money, so I get to do whatever I want, however I want. Like, I mean, you know, I also have a newsletter. I got a Patreon. You get people being like, and if you don't do this, then I'm taking my money away from you. It's like, okay, like, go then. I just, like, I'm one person. Leave me alone. If you don't like it, then go somewhere else. But like, but that's like that entitlement thing where it's just like, I have given you my money, so I own you, and I own this space, and I can do whatever I want in this space. And it simply does not matter who is right and who is wrong, because I am the customer and I am always going to be right. And granted, he does pay a lot, but that just doesn't mean you can just like railroad people. And also, like, where's the shame? Listen, this, you don't shit where you eat. Like, I live in a little town. It's the second largest city in Iowa, but it is a little town. Like, I go somewhere, listen, I once dated a guy who owns a restaurant. I now no longer go to that restaurant because of what I said about his ramen during the breakup. And was I right? Was I right? Yes, I was. Should I have said it? No. And now I am too ashamed to go to this restaurant, and I should be ashamed, because why should I insult that man to his core and then expect to go back to his restaurant and get service? I am ashamed. I was right, but I am ashamed. And like, sir, I
don't know. I feel like you can order it on DoorDash.
The ramen is bad, so I never. It's like a locally owned Applebee's, so I'm not really missing out on the food. It got really good vibes, so it has a really good vibes and like a good outdoor space.
Girl,
I know.
I feel like you can go back, but I feel like
it's been a few years.
A little bit.
But I will say,
wants a little bit of that MAGA, like,
but it's
fuck
like
you entitlement thing.
But you don't want that. Don't shit where you eat. Like, these are the people, like, that woman who is teaching that class is not getting paid enough for us to pay for Solidcore. Like, do you know what you get paid as like a personal trainer? It's like nothing. The Orange Theory people got paid nothing. Everybody I know who taught at Orange Theory is now like a realtor, you know, like, because like they couldn't afford that life. And it's just like, okay, like at some point your entitlement is now completely punching down. I mean, sure, these women handled their drama in the complete wrong way, but like, yeah, come on, don't shit where you eat. Like, this is your town. You have to go out here. And now everybody hates you and they're all spitting in your little matcha latte, you dillweed.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you're pretty, Liz, I feel like I'm getting a vibe from both of you that you're like, Anthony Festa needs to log off. Is that what I'm hearing?
Anthony Festa, break your meta glasses challenge.
Yes.
Break the meta glasses. Also, I will say meta glasses is MAGA coded, and that's another reason.
Yeah, well, that is true.
That is true. The meta glasses.
To have meta glasses.
To have meta glasses is you know, what were you doing on January 6th? Not what were you doing on January 6th, but maybe you voted for Trump in 24 because you thought of economy stuff and you're still stupid.
Yeah, he's like, he's driving a Cybertruck, you know, like he's giving Cybertruck energy. Like, somebody needs to just find this man, break his meta glasses, run away, and that's it. And that will be justice. That's restorative justice.
Restorative justice. Well, I think we did it, guys. We solved it. This guy's a grasshole. He's posting through it, even though he had some. I mean, he's entertaining. The John Benet Ramsey shit is crazy.
That was
good use
crazy.
Of memes, but yeah, he's great. But he reposted it because it was anyway. So yeah, I think we say, for the crime of going to Solidcore at 6 a.m. Thanksgiving Sunday, doing a class anyway, even though no one was there, and then posting through it, Anthony Festa,
and wearing meta glasses,
and wearing meta glasses.
They were all misdemeanors, but the felony is the meta glasses. Log off.
To me, a meta glass, like I will say on the record for Millie Tamaris right now, if a food, like somebody was eating food at a restaurant wears meta glasses, like, and wants to show other courses, I'll appreciate that. But okay. Anyway, Anthony Festa,
go touch grass.
And that is our show. Liz, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being so flexible, so open, and you know, cool with us pushing this back because I had therapy.
I love it. I love therapy.
Liz, where can we find us? You said you're working on a new book. Is there like one or two lines you want to tell us about what's going on?
So I also have a podcast. It's called Dingus of the Week. We round up, me and my co-host, we round up the funny news, funny, depressing news from the week and make little jokes about it. And that is on, you can find it Patreon/Lyz Lenz, LYZLENZ. I also write a newsletter, and I am working on a book, but it won't be done for a while. But I do have 3 other books, one of which is called This American Ex-Wife, which is endorsed by Millie and Elise.
Yes, highly endorsed.
I think that should be, those are all great places to find me. And when me and my podcast hosts figure out how to bring on guests, I'll have to bring you both on, and you can give us an internet dingus of the week. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
We have so many. We have so many grass holes, and we think they leave reviews on our.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes
they leave reviews.
They're reviewing.
They get mad at us and they leave reviews, and that's why you got to review us. And guys, if you're listening to this and you want to follow us more, go to Go Touch Grass Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and everything. And don't forget our Patreon at Go Touch Grass Pod, where you can get 25% off your first month or first year with the code BY25. And you can follow me at Millie Tamaris, Millie_Tamaris on TikTok, and at Millie Tamaris on Twitter. And Elise, where can they find you?
You can follow me at Pandalise on Instagram, at EliseNavidad on TikTok. And I do want to shout out that if you go to Go Touch Grass Pod right now on Instagram, we are collecting questions for our mailbag episode. You can ask me and Millie anything, to comment on something that we didn't talk about on the pod, to go deeper into something that we did. Anything that you want to ask us, please send your questions for our mailbag episode, because we are going to record that in like the next week or so, and we need your questions.
And until next time,
go touch grass.
Beautiful. Wow. Oh my God. Thank you guys.